Has anybody popped for you in the preseason? A pleasant surprise?
I don't know about a surprise, but Jonathan Allen's been pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you'd
Fabian
hope-
Moreau, but he's like a later pick.
Right. Yeah, people have been propping the secondary a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't overly impressed, though, like with the run defense. You know, that was kind of annoying.
Yeah, maybe Chris Thompson, because it seems like whenever he gets the ball, especially in open field, he makes things happen. He had a long reception yesterday. But, you know, I think they should use him a little bit more than they did last year, especially because you have no idea with Doxson. But, you know, it's hard to pick one guy.
I love that play design on that big pickup by Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Like an inside fake, then an end-around fake, and then he was just wide open and had nothing but open field in front of him.
I do think when you look back on this, and I said this last week while you were away, I think this draft class could end up being pretty damn solid. Ryan Anderson, I don't believe, played again, so he
was out.
He's got some injury issues that we're going to have to keep an eye on.
I'm actually unaware. Did Junior Gillette finally step on the field?
He did. Yes. He didn't do much. But he was out there. He had a pressure or two. He had a couple tackles. But I think Jonathan Allen, I think Ryan Anderson, I think Fabian Moreau, Chase Roulier seemed to acquit himself pretty well. Is it Josh Holsey? He made a couple plays, and apparently he's been impressive in camp. I think in a couple of years, we're going to look back on this draft class and be pretty proud of it. But overall, listen, there's no question about it. The preseason's been a dud. Mm-hmm. It has not been an impressive preseason by any stretch. There were serious periods of time in that first quarter where I was panicking, but then I have to just keep reminding myself, it's the preseason. Relax, stupid. We're not the Patriots. We're not going to look like a well-oiled machine. We never are. This is just who you are. This is what a 500-ish team looks like, I think, in the preseason. So, we'll see what happens. It's just a complete joke that we have this fourth preseason game and all the guys that are fighting for that last spot or two are just going to waste our time. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to sit on our hands for, 2 more weeks before we can really see any real action?
13
well, you'll
days
have the preseason game right on Thursday, then you'll wait.
But there's
10
no
days.
question. I know we have some quotes. I don't know if we have them yet, but where Jay's talking about the sluggish, slow start, I mean, that seems to be a theme. It sure would be nice if you go out there and score on a first drive or not go 3 and out.
Season is just that after 3 of these games, remember after the first preseason game, people were calling, talking about Jay, play calling, that the conversations really haven't shifted.
They haven't, but again, when they aren't really game planning, when they aren't necessarily calling out of plays where they're set up and bad for they're as of last week, they were in plays where they were set up to fail. And Jay just said, just run it anyway. Even though we're running into a bad formation, just run the play anyway. I almost feel like Jay hates the preseason.
He's just punting it away, too.
As much as we do. I really do. Now, you could call that excuse making. Maybe it is. But I think until we fully game plan and we throw out the kitchen sink at these guys, I don't think it's fair to evaluate it 100% yet.
It is a fine line when you're dealing with the preseason because you want to stay healthy. You want to keep your starters out there. I mean, look at how many starters have gone down the last. Cameron Meredith, that injury crushes the Bears.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But you also want to look good. You want to start installing certain things.
Build some confidence in your players.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing 100%. You're going 100%. Right. You're trying to hit. You're trying to score points. So it's a very fine line.
Here's what Jay Gruden said about the slow start in the latest preseason game.
I'm a little concerned. I addressed it in the locker room over there. We just got to figure out something to do. Maybe eat a different pregame meal or something to change the first 15 up. But we'll get it right. I think the guys will come out with a little bit more energy, more urgency. Hopefully, come Philadelphia, they have to. We can't start like that in the NFL consistently and expect to win a lot of games.
You see what Tom Brady does in the preseason. He's just firing. It's like 12 for 14, whatever the hell he finished in this last game. I think he did end up throwing a pick. But I think it would be surprising that if in week 1 they just start clicking.
Well, no one's expecting them to be great. I mean, right?
Well, but
isn't everyone kind of expecting? Isn't everyone kind of expecting them to be around 500 plus or minus 1 or 2 games?
It depends on what your expectations are. See, JP doesn't expect anything. You expect more.
I expect them like 9 wins. I think that's what I predicted.
So if you expect 9 wins, which would be fighting for a division title, and they go out there and look like this.
Well, 9 wins is also 1 game over 500. So that's what I basically think they are.
Okay, but 9 wins in the NFL is a pretty good season. It just is. So if you're expecting that means you're expecting them to contend for a division. You're going to be more disappointed. JP's probably not as surprised as some people. So
I wouldn't be surprised if they finished 9-7. But what the preseason is telling me, and could be wrong, is that it's probably not going to be a 10-6, 11-5 season. And what I would find truly surprising is after week 1 or week 2 or week 3, if they are just rolling. And I feel like the offense last year at times was rolling, but it hasn't even shown really a sign at all. I mean, you can give them one drive.
Well, they had 2 pretty good drives, but the second one was kind of a dud because it ended with a field goal. But look, they weren't rolling at the end of last season. A period of time there in the middle of the year where they were rolling.
True.
So again, they're a Jekyll and Hyde kind of team. They're not a well-oiled machine, even in their better years in the last 2 years. They're not that great, even when they're hitting on all cylinders.